My back hurts. My feet hurt. My hips hurt. I feel like I'm suffocating under this weight.
I choose to eat things that aren't necessarily as healthy for me as I should, but I just want to eat a snack without someone giving me looks, telling me that I eat too much, or criticizing me about what I eat.
Jennifer's life is a devastating shared misery. Her daughter Marissa has to strip her mother down and scrub her clean because Jennifer's size makes it impossible to bathe herself. Jennifer can barely stand for 2 minutes. This isn't just a physical burden, it's a massive, toxic emotional shift where the daughter has been forced to become the caretaker, blurring all boundaries. Jennifer admits this is the miserable life she made for her child.
What devastates me is that she joins in with me and my meals. Marissa, how much longer you think?
Probably not that long.
All right, I'm hungry.
The terrifying irony of their situation is laid bare. Marissa, burdened by her mother's care, seeks emotional refuge in food just like her mom, eating large, unhealthy meals alongside Jennifer. She admits she fears that she won't be able to help her mother anymore because she is also gaining massive amounts of weight. The codependent relationship means they are accelerating each other's physical downfall. One will soon be burying the other, and it's Jennifer's fault.
I think my mom knew that I was being molested, and my mom would just excuse my stepdad's behavior, and just nothing ever changed. So nobody did anything to save me, and I had nowhere to turn.
The trauma behind the mother-daughter tragedy is revealed. Jennifer was sexually molested by her stepfather starting at age 7, and her mother excused the behavior. She had nowhere to turn for comfort, so she turned to food, gorging herself to feel safe and happy. The abuse drove her to an eating obsession, where she ate non-stop, eventually causing her weight to skyrocket. Food became her shield, a disastrous coping mechanism for a shattered, terrifying childhood.
Because right off the bat, I can see with where both of your weights are at, it's clear you two have unhealthy dynamic. So let's start with who feeds who.
My daughter brings me food.
Don't you two think that you're enabling each other?
Yes. Of course.
Dr. Now's shock is profound as he reviews their medical history and weight. Jennifer is 636 pounds, and Marissa is 573 pounds. He immediately identifies their enabling, toxic dynamic, pointing out how they blame each other when the truth is they are both using each other to eat. His brutal warning is stark. One of them will soon be burying the other, followed quickly by the burial of the next. He demands a complete change in their feeding schedule and a 60-pound weight loss for both.
I'm really disappointed in myself right now because I didn't meet my goal weight.
I just kept telling myself, tomorrow I'll do better, tomorrow I'll do better, and then before I knew it, I was back here and I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
The relapse is shocking. Jennifer meets her 60-pound goal, but Marissa, despite exercising, has only lost 13 pounds, secretly binging alone. Dr. Now exposes the secret, telling Marissa her exercise is irrelevant because she is still massively overeating. This confirms their terrible enabling cycle. He warns Marissa she will be twice her mother's size soon, giving them both a final terrifying ultimatum. Both lose 30 pounds in 1 month, or they are separated.
The window's broken in here.
Somebody help me, please. I don't know. I need to call these people. Who do I call? What do I do? I don't know.
Stop it, Mom. You're fine.
The emotional breakdown peaks when their move to Houston to save their lives results in a dilapidated, terrifying apartment with no power and a broken window. Jennifer, overcome with guilt and frustration, dissolves into uncontrollable tears, declaring she has moved them into the crappiest neighborhood ever and has failed. Marissa, shockingly, yells at her to stop, highlighting their traumatic codependency. This scene captures the sheer crushing weight of failure on two fragile, overwhelmed minds.
Wants to do this, and she's ready to do this. The only thing holding her back is you. So you're going to get serious about this.
Okay.
If you don't, you can move back to Oregon because we're not going to do surgery, okay?
Dr. Now is having none of their minimal effort. He gives them 1 month instead of 2 for the 30-pound weight loss, a final, non-negotiable threat of separation. Marissa finally commits, terrified of being exiled back to Oregon alone. She tearfully vows to meet the goal. Jennifer is the true hero here, hitting her goal, proving her seriousness, forcing the program to continue for both. Her commitment is the one anchor in their turbulent journey.
So who's first?
I'll go first today.
You go first, Marissa. Okay, you're down to 5 or 6 with weight loss of 42 pounds this past month. So you're finally doing what you need and taking this seriously.
The tension breaks with shared joy. Marissa, facing the final ultimatum, manages a huge loss of 42 pounds, and Jennifer maintains her loss, achieving her 30-pound target. Both women finally earn the reward, proving they can overcome their deadly dynamic. Dr. Now approves both for surgery on the same day. He mandates mandatory joint therapy to sustain the victory. Their codependency is now transitioning to a mutually healthy support system. What a monumental, necessary win.
Can I help?
I broke up with Dwayne. He's been gambling and doing drugs, and I just couldn't take it anymore. So I'm moving forward.
Months later, Jennifer reports a massive change. She broke up with her gambling, drug-addicted boyfriend and is fully independent. Her focus shifts from needing care to teaching Marissa self-sufficiency. Both women show off significant weight loss, celebrating their healthier sizes in a shopping spree. They turned their dysfunctional relationship into one of healthy mother-daughter support. They are no longer a toxic double act, but a triumphant unit.
And I just feel like my body could give out at any moment. When I get in the shower, I try to stay as still as I can, because falling's not a good idea at 625 pounds. That would be humiliating for my family to see me like that. I already can barely function.
Look at this crushing existence. Gideon is trapped in a 625-pound prison, and the opening shots are pure, unadulterated suffering. He says his body could give out at any moment, and honestly, you can see the truth of that fear stamped right on his face. The physical reality is horrifying. The back pain, the legs swelling, and the agonizing battle to breathe. But the emotional detail hits hardest, wearing 3 shirts just to hide the man boobs and fat rolls. The sheer shame he lives with every morning is a visual metaphor for his imprisonment. It's a living death sentence. This is where the journey has to begin.
The time I was 9, I weighed over 150 pounds. And I was still eating a lot because of the stress from the custody battle. I had to pick which parent I wanted to live with, and my brother wanted to live with my dad, so I said I would go with him.
It's the classic origin story, isn't it? The core wound that becomes the reason for everything. His parents' divorce at 8 years old fractured his world, and he immediately learned that food was the only predictable comfort in the chaos. Then came the custody battle, the horrible guilt of choosing his dad, and the step-parent who openly ridiculed him. By age 12, he was shopping in the big and tall section. He was an emotional orphan, drowning in pain that he soothed with calories. This wasn't a choice, it was survival. But now, the survival mechanism is the poison. He is a product of this damaged past.
We are equal partners in the household. I work, I go to school full time. Okay. And on top of trying to take care of Jonathan and take care of the house, I have to take care of him.
Oh, Kaylee is running on fumes. She's working, going to school, parenting Jonathan, and trying to keep the house from becoming a biohazard, all while her husband scrolls on his phone. The resentment is palpable, and she finally verbalizes the heartbreaking truth. She feels like a single mother with 2 children. This isn't marriage. This is a caretaker dynamic, yet she is still fetching the trash cans for him. If you want him to change, you must stop being his spine. Codependence is a quiet killer that lets the patient sink deeper into their immobility, and it has to stop now.
One small meal during the day, like I'll go through fast food, get like 2 hamburgers, 3 cookies.
So you call that small meal?
Well, I mean, compared to like my dinner meal, it's smaller.
Enter the only honest man in the room, Dr. Nauzaradin. The man doesn't waste time on platitudes. Gideon tries to smooth talk his eating habits, calling 2 fast food burgers and 3 cookies a small meal. Seriously? And Kaylee chimes in with her excuses about spaghetti because she works late. The doctor immediately cuts through the absolute garbage, pointing out that they both know what healthy eating is. They just refuse to make the change. He delivers the verdict: lose 50 pounds in 1 month to prove they are willing to work. The shock on their faces is priceless. Finally, someone holding them accountable.
See a place and I'll start to crave something they have. Good morning. Do you have apple fritters? Oh, I want 2 of those. And then a chocolate Long John, 2 of those.
The sheer audacity of the roadside stop. They are literally on the way to their first consultation with Dr. Now, who is the last hope of saving Gideon's life, and he pulls over for an apple fritter. He's scarfing down 2 of those, 2 chocolate Long Johns, and a mixed dozen, all before the main destination. This isn't just an eating disorder. It's an addiction demanding a fix right before the intervention. Kaylee is spitting frustration, asking him why he is doing this to himself and their family. He says he is fighting to live, but his actions are actively trying to bury him. The habit is stronger than the hope.
I mean, I fight back tears over my dad's death,
daily almost, because I feel like I could have prevented it.
But you do feel responsible for your father's death.
Yeah.
All right, take your time, Gideon.
The therapy session is the unavoidable emotional reckoning. Gideon finally lets the floodgates open, confessing the years of guilt he's carried for his parents' deaths. The real heart of the matter, he feels responsible for his father's passing, a burden he tried to smother with food for years. Kaylee's realization that his weight was a wall built from this specific guilt hits hard. This is the moment where the addiction is stripped of its nutritional cover and revealed to be pure, desperate grief. It is painful, messy, and absolutely essential for him to face this trauma without using a single solitary calorie as an anesthetic.
I want to run some more tests on you to make sure there are no life-threatening issues right now. And if you stick with the program during that time and lose another 10 pounds, then I see the effort is there and I will approve you for surgery.
Thank you, sir.
The first follow-up appointment is the critical pivot point. Gideon missed his 50-pound goal, only losing 30. Dr. Now is visibly disappointed, stating flatly that the effort isn't there and the health tests are concerning. He pulls the trigger on the tough love, no surgery approval yet. Instead, he's being sent to the hospital for a week of intensive monitoring and a strict 10-pound challenge. The doctor knows his patient needs a controlled environment to break the cycle of backsliding. This is an all-or-nothing ultimatum designed to shock Gideon into true, uncompromising compliance. It's a brilliant move to force the issue.
All the progress you made over the past week, and I think you're ready for surgery.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
You're welcome.
He did it. Gideon met the hospital goal, and Dr. Now approved the gastric bypass. Kaylee is overcome with relief, telling him he has been granted an extension on life. The family hug is a powerful moment of catharsis and hope. But wait a minute, post-surgery, Kaylee's immediate worry is that he's sleeping all day, lethargic, and not helping around the house. The victory is already turning sour. The weight is off, but the emotional crutch is just replaced by a nap. The mind hasn't caught up to the body, and the hard-won opportunity is already in jeopardy.
Gideon has honestly blown my mind. He has surpassed all of my expectations, and I honestly could not be prouder.
I can't believe my life now. I'm no longer a burden to the people around me.
The turnaround is complete, and honestly, it's a stunning victory. Gideon is working a demanding new job, consistently below 500 pounds, and actually taking his son to school. The biggest win is the mental change, as Kaylee's resentment is replaced by pride and genuine partnership. He is no longer the fat guy, but a father and husband who can run around with his son. He found a new way to cope with life's stresses, and the laser tag scene with his family is the perfect final image. This journey proves that even the deepest emotional scars can heal, and a second chance is always earned.
But it doesn't matter how full I feel. A few minutes pass, I'm hungry again and I'm ready for my next meal. And I can only stand for maybe 15 minutes at a time. My size and my lymphedema make it hard to fit in most places anymore.
The opening scene is a living nightmare. JT is physically melting into his mattress, describing the agony of his lymphedema leg rubbing his body raw. Getting out of bed is like pulling himself out of cotton candy, and he can only stand for 15 minutes. He is terrifyingly close to being bedbound, living in fear of the day he can't even sit on the toilet. This isn't just weight, it's a physical breakdown, a slow-motion catastrophe. The urgency is overwhelming. This man is trapped, and the desperation is absolutely chilling to watch.
The biggest one being that I didn't realize that my parents started doing drugs, and as I got older, their habit got worse. They got into harder stuff. Instead of buying things like clothes and food,
the trauma reveal hits hard, parents spiraling into severe drug addiction, using money for cocaine and meth instead of food or rent. JT, just 10 years old and the eldest, felt the crushing burden of helping his siblings. Food wasn't just comfort, it was a way to mentally check out, to forget his life. His weight tripled in 3 years because he was desperately trying to fill a parental void with pepperoni and peanut butter. It was a classic, tragic exchange of emotional stability for calories. This is the root of the rot.
He gets very upset, especially when I try to influence JT's eating habits in any way. So I end up bringing home the fast food and getting what he wants from the store.
Look at Jessica. She's enabling him completely, buying him every sugar sugary, fatty item he wants just to avoid his anger. She admits that if she expresses concern or tries to control his food, he gets upset, so she just brings him what he wants home. She is facilitating the very habit that will kill him. This is the definition of toxic codependence, where love is tragically misidentified as complicity in slow suicide. She needs a wake-up call too, or she will be dragging his body out one day. Stop buying the junk food.
All right, first thing we need to do is start you on a 1,200 calorie, high protein, no carb diet. You think you can do that?
I can try.
So who else is in your household beside you?
Dr. Now does not blink. He immediately calls out their toxic dynamic, pointing out that JT barely moves and Jessica brings home all the food he wants. Then he lays down the law: 1,200 calorie protein diet, no excuses, and lose 150 pounds in 2 months. The doctor tells JT to stop traveling back to Oklahoma entirely and just move to Houston. The medical transportation risk is too high. This is the ultimate non-negotiable directive that shatters their comfort zone. It's harsh, but absolutely necessary.
Scary being in the car for as long as I was. I'd pushed my body too hard, and that something really bad is happening. So Jessica called Dr. Now, and he told her I need to get to the hospital now.
Right after the first appointment, the wheels immediately fall off. JT collapses, terrified he pushed his body too far on the trip. It turns out to be a double whammy: food poisoning from the travel binge and an irritated, near-infected lymphedema. He is in the ER again. This horrific experience is his moment of brutal clarity, proving that even a single indulgence or physical strain could kill him. The addict's delusion is finally crushed by medical reality. You cannot cheat death, JT.
I literally told you on day one.
Plans change, I guess.
I just want to stay in Oklahoma.
I can't even believe this, because it's just one thing after another. When you get frustrated and mad, you just bolt. It's like, you want to talk about a relationship?
If it's not going to work, then what's the point?
The breakup scene with Jessica is explosive, but it's a necessary emotional earthquake. When she says she wants to go home, JT immediately throws up a wall, trying to control her with guilt. The trauma is leaking out, but for the first time, he doesn't retreat to food. Losing his girlfriend, his home, and his dog in a few days is the ultimate trigger, yet he is forced to face the raw pain in a sterile hospital room. The anesthetic is gone, and the healing has to start now.
Actually, I did lose weight, and I haven't gained any weight since I've been here.
You know, when you're 700 pounds, if you stick with the 1,200 calorie diet, how much you're gonna lose a month?
I have no idea.
100 pounds.
Yeah, I did that last month like you said.
JT only lost 10 pounds in the first 2 months, and Dr. Now delivers the verbal beatdown he deserved. He annihilates the excuses. Oklahoma or Timbuktu, you take the life out of yourself with food. He flatly states, there is no hope for you. You will die young. This wasn't a threat. It was a shock to the system. The doctor forces a commitment, demanding a massive 75-pound loss next month. JT is left with no refuge, only the raw truth of his impending doom.
That's a little disappointing. I'm happy I'm losing, but I worked really hard, so I expected that number to be lower, and I'm a little upset that it's not. I'm also worried about what Dr. Now's gonna tell me, because I didn't lose enough.
Despite not hitting the final goal, JT showed real effort, dropping an amazing 273 pounds overall. Dr. Now sees the hard-won consistency and approves the surgery, but with a final challenge: lose the remaining 40 pounds before the booking. This isn't a handout, it's a meticulously calculated risk, a reward for fighting. JT's palpable relief is powerful, realizing his sacrifices have finally led to the ultimate lifeline. The surgery is a triumph of will, not a magic fix. This is a game changer.
I've been able to build my stamina to walk a whole lot further than I've been able to go for more than 10 years. So I've been trying to take walks outside for my daily exercise. And a couple of weeks ago, I was able to go far enough to discover a nearby park. It's small, but it's nice.
Look at him. A total loss of 400 pounds in a year is an absolute miracle achieved through relentless grit. He is walking outside in a park, enjoying the simple feeling of the sun and wind on his skin, a sensation lost to him for years under the crush of 900 plus pounds. He's approved for the lymphedema removal, a final symbolic and physical freedom. JT is no longer the lost boy. He's an inspiration, a testament to the fact that you can heal the deepest wounds and save your own life. What an ending.
My weight pulls on me and causes pain all over. My arms hurt, my legs hurt, everything hurts on my body. My back hurts tremendously, and it makes it very difficult to do what I need to do now.
Right out of the gate, we're dropped into a world of pure misery. Ashley is completely alone, trapped in a body that's a prison of constant, agonizing pain. Every simple task, like showering, is a monumental effort that leaves her exhausted and defeated. This isn't just about being overweight. This is about a life that has ground to a halt. The isolation is suffocating, a silent scream in a house filled with only the sound of her own struggle. You can already feel the hopelessness seeping through the screen.
First, when I found out who my father was, because we had this family friend, and I found out that he was actually my dad when I had a DNA test. It's like he immediately just cut all ties. I never knew this person was my dad. So for me to find out my dad, like, it hurt me. And I used food to carry me through that.
And here it is, the trauma reel that built the foundation for this disaster. First, she discovers her father is a family friend who wants nothing to do with her upon finding out. A brutal rejection. Then, as if that weren't enough, she is sexually assaulted by a neighbor. That's the 1-2 punch that sends a person running for any comfort they can find. Food became her shield, her only friend, the only thing that couldn't hurt her. The blueprint for a lifetime of self-destruction was laid down right there.
So we got together really briefly. He was an extremely abusive person, and he would hit me and tell me things like, "You're not going anywhere, you're so fat, no one's gonna want you. I'm all you got, your own family don't want you."
Just when you think it can't get more toxic, we learn about the ex-boyfriend, not just an enabler, but a full-blown feeder, someone who gets off on making her bigger. He weaponized her insecurity, telling her she was worthless and that he was all she had while actively making her condition worse. This isn't love or even misguided care. It's a parasitic, predatory relationship that feeds on her addiction. It's a level of human depravity that is genuinely hard to stomach. Who does that?
We go and we'll see how you're doing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything else you haven't told me?
No, that's it.
Okay. But for most of what you have said, the entire time you're here, you never made eye contact with me.
Thank heavens Dr. Now enters the chat, and he is not buying any of what Ashley is selling. Within minutes, he clocks her complete lack of eye contact and essentially asks if she's a pathological liar. He doesn't tiptoe around it. He sees the deception from a mile away. He cuts through the nervous laughter and lays down the law. It's the first dose of raw, unfiltered reality Ashley has likely had in years. Finally, someone who won't be manipulated. The game has officially changed.
I feel like that's a good drop. Really good. So I feel happy about that number because that means it's coming down. So it makes me happy because I've been putting in a lot of work. So hopefully Dr. Now sees that too and sees how serious I am and approves me for surgery today.
Surprise, surprise! At the first follow-up, she's barely lost half of what Dr. Now demanded. She achieved the absolute minimum to avoid getting kicked out on the spot. And the excuse? She's making a good start. A good start? This isn't a marathon you can ease into. Her body is a ticking time bomb. The pattern is already emerging. She will do just enough to keep the process moving while changing nothing fundamental. This is sabotage in slow motion. And honestly, we all saw it coming.
If you won't do the things you need to lose weight, how do you think weight loss surgery is going to make you lose weight?
I know it's going to help me lose weight because at the end of the day, I know what I want for myself.
This is not an emotional breakdown. This is a tactical explosion. The moment Dr. Now corners her with logic about not being able to lose weight, she detonates. The anger, the yelling, the storming out, it's all a smokescreen. She's not hurt, she's cornered. It's a classic manipulation tactic designed to make everyone else uncomfortable and shut down the conversation. She is physically trying to escape accountability. It's a full-blown toddler tantrum, and the only thing missing is her throwing herself on the floor. Absolutely infuriating.
For real.
So this is a process that we grill everybody 10 times, ask the question, get their attitude right, and see if they're compliant and see what their level of...
This is why Dr. Now is the GOAT. After she storms back in, he doesn't coddle her or accept her half apology. He tells her to her face that she has the wrong attitude and the surgery will fail because of it. He states plainly that she becomes defensive and irrational when questioned. He's not just treating her weight, he is diagnosing her character flaws right then and there. This isn't poking. This is a surgeon exposing a sickness that a scalpel can't fix. It is magnificent.
And 3 years ago, they said you're 449 pounds. And then 2 years ago, 477 pounds. And then 479. So now 469, just pretty much the same weight you have been for past 3 years.
And there it is, the final glorious implosion. At the 6-month mark, having lost almost nothing, Dr. Now pulls out the receipts, her medical records, The ultimate fact check. It turns out her claim of weighing 630 pounds, a complete fabrication. Her weight has been stable for years. She didn't lose a massive amount on her own. She lied. Her entire narrative was a house of cards. And Dr. Now just blew it all down. Her journey wasn't a struggle. It was a performance. Case closed.
Okay, so welcome back. How are you feeling today?
I'm on an emotional roller coaster. Like, one minute I'm happy and I'm okay. Next minute I'm crying, I'm sad, I'm just nonstop crying.
You know, Ashley, after our initial meeting where we had the first assessment,
So, the therapist drops the bomb: depression and borderline personality disorder. On the surface, this feels like a breakthrough, a reason for her behavior. But is it? Or is this just a new, clinical-sounding excuse she can hide behind? The commentary is practically writing itself. Instead of owning her choices, she now has a diagnosis to blame. The therapist says it will take a long time to get her stable for surgery, and you just know Ashley hears this is going to take forever. TikTok, ever.